In this video, I will give you all the information you need regarding weight in the UFC. Weight division, limit, what happens if you miss weight, how much can you miss, this and that. All the information in this video, guys. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Salam alaikum to everyone.
I get asked a lot of questions about all the weight rules in the UFC all the time because it can be complicated sometimes. So let me give you all the information you need to understand what's going on. So there are several different weight divisions. I just talked about men's weight divisions now, 125, flyweight, 125 pounds, flyweight, 135, bantamweight, 145, featherweight, 155, lightweight, 170, welterweight, 185, middleweight, 205 is light heavyweight, and then heavyweight is until 265. So you see, with some weight divisions, it's a 10-pound gap. With some weight divisions, like for example, from 170 to 185, it's a 15-pound gap. And then from 205 to 265 is the biggest gap, 60 pounds, right? And also 185 to 205 is quite a big gap with 20 pounds. So sometimes you see fighters weighing in, or oftentimes weighing 206 or 205.5, if we take the light heavyweight division, for example. And you might think like, huh? Didn't they miss weight? No. You can always be 1 pound overweight. So with every division, you are allowed to be 1 pound, up to 1 pound, not more, not 1.1. If you're 206.1, 0.2, 0.3 pounds, you're overweight. But you are allowed to be 1 pound over the official weight. So 155 lightweight, you can be 156 or 155.5. You are allowed to be that. That's in every weight division. Also heavyweight, 266 in every weight division. The only exception is title fights. The BMF title was not with that exception because it's not a real title at the end of the day. But all normal UFC title fights, you need to be exactly on the weight or lower if you wish to. For example, Israel Adesanya, when he fought for the light heavyweight title, which was 205 pounds, he weighed in at 196 or something. Of course, you can always be lighter if you want. It's just not the best idea, but hey, if you wish to.
Show up, skinny boy. Let's fight. I'm ready.
You are not allowed to be 205.5, for example, for a light heavyweight title fight. You need to be 205 on the dot. Every weight division is the same. Title fights, you always need to be perfectly on the weight. Otherwise, you are not eligible to win the title. Happened with Yoel Romero, for example, when he actually beat Luke Rockhold. I think it was a Luke Rockhold fight where he missed weight, but he wasn't crowned the champion, even though he won, because he missed weight. You cannot. Same with Charles Oliveira when he was the champ, even though that was a big messed up situation because of the scale that was a little bit manipulated, whatever. But if you miss weight, they're pretty hard on that. They're like, hey, you can fight, but you can't win the title. And if you miss weight, for example, you have a lightweight fight and you weigh in at, let's say, 157, right? Which would be officially 1 pound overweight because you're 1 pound over the limit of 156. Then they normally go and ask your opponent, hey, are you still down to fight this guy? Because from the rule set, you don't need to take the fight. You saw with Wonderboy, Steve Wonderboy Thompson, in the last pay-per-view when he was scheduled to face Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira missed weight by like 4 pounds, I believe. He was like 175 or whatever. And no, by 3 pounds, he was 174. And they then asked Wonderboy, hey, are you still down to fight him? He, for example, said no. Most fighters say yes. Because the good thing about it, if your opponent misses weight, is you get a percentage of the purse of your opponent.
More fucking money.
So most of the time it's 20%. Especially if it's a normal weight miss, normal in terms of 1, 2, maybe 3 pounds. 3 pounds is quite a lot, but like 1, 2 pounds, they normally say, hey, you get 20% from the show-up money of your opponent, which is pretty nice, right? But it's also completely right.
They're nice.
If your opponent misses weight by a significant amount, it can also change. It can also be 30, 40, 50%.
Great success.
I don't know what the maximum was that was ever deducted from someone, but it depends on if it's a title fight, it depends how much you missed weight, it depends on the circumstances of the fight, but they usually take 20% or more if they feel like, hey, we need to take more here, or if you negotiate with them and with your opponent to take more from his purse, right? So that's the rule. If you miss weight, the opponent still wants to fight you, you give at least 20% of your purse. And also, if you miss weight, you are not eligible for post-fight bonuses. So if you miss weight, even if you have the fight of your life, you will not get 50,000 bucks in bonus. You cannot get a bonus for fight of the night, performance of the night, nothing. There was one exception, I don't remember when it was or who it was, last year or this year, where someone missed weight and he still got the bonus because the fight was so good. They can make exceptions, but normally the rule is you can't get a bonus if you miss weight. So that are the punishments that you get for missing weight. And how it works is just, normally you cut the weight the night before, the big weight cut. You cut all the rest that you still have to cut the night before or during the night. It's normally on Friday morning, the weigh-ins, on Friday morning, so Thursday night after a press conference. If it's a pay-per-view fight night, there's no press conference. You cut the weight. In the morning you weigh in, and you normally have a scale in the back of the arena or wherever you have to weigh in. There's a scale on the back so you can look, am I on weight? Yeah, perfect. And then you go to the stage kind of on the scale, you hit the scale, they weigh you. And if you miss weight and there's a weigh-in window, so you have like, I think 3 hours or 4 hours to weigh in, let's just say hypothetically from 8 a.m. to, I don't know, lunchtime to 12. And if you weigh in, for example, at like, let's say 10 a.m. and you miss weight, so you are not on weight, they give you 1 extra hour to cut the rest. It depends on the state though. With every state it's a little bit different, but mostly it's like that. You get 1 extra hour to cut the last amount of weight if you missed. Unless, as I said, it's in most states, it can be different in different locations, but normally if you weigh in, for example, 5 minutes before the limit of the weigh-in, so 5 minutes before 12, and you miss weight, you don't get an extra hour because you are not in the time frame anymore of the weigh-in. But there can be exceptions, but normally that's the rule. And then after that, you go, you drink your water, drink your electrolytes, eat your food, whatever. Then you can do whatever you want. You can be as heavy as you want on fight night. That doesn't matter. With one championship, for example, a big organization as well, they have a hydration clause. So when you weigh in, because some people in the UFC, they nearly kill themselves to make weight. They really nearly kill themselves. And to make sure the fighters don't have a serious advantage above the other fighters, if they cut so much weight that it's very unhealthy and they're just so much bigger in the cage, then they have a hydration clause or rule where you have to do a piss test. Like when you weigh in, you have to piss in a cup or something, and they will check depending on how, they just have a machine where they check how hydrated you still are, and there's a certain number that you have to be under, and if you're over, you're not hydrated, and that's like a weight miss then. It's very good to make sure the fighters are okay. It's good for the health of the fighters. It's good to not have these weight bullies, like you call them, the guys who cut a lot of weight. But it's it's something that only exists in one championship. That's just on a side note, if you ever wondered what that is, what they do there, right? So that's all you need to know about the weight, actually. If you have any questions, write in the comments, guys. Would love to help you out. Love to share some knowledge. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, guys. I would appreciate that a lot. Check out the other video that's showed here. And most importantly, that you will not miss weight. Eat your fruits and eat your vegetables, guys. Until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.